Welcome back, everybody, to part two of our We Talk Tech Seniors episode, where we're discussing simple technology based solutions that can enable seniors to live more independently in their home and to age in place. We are again joined by our special guest, Frank Engelman from Tech for Seniors, and we're going to be chatting about some interesting stuff today. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is wireless charging pads. And wireless charging is a feature on newer model phones. So it doesn't work with every phone, but it is a pretty standard feature in most phones nowadays, if they're a recent model. And what it allows you to do is just place your phone onto a charging pad instead of having to plug in a wire. And I find this especially useful for people with either strength or dexterity issues, perhaps from something like arthritis. These can be a real game changer, just being able to place your phone on a charger instead of having to mess around with wires. Have you used any of these, Frank, or what are your thoughts on wireless
Oh
chargers?
yeah, yeah, I love them. And in fact, my 96-year-old aunt swears by them, so it's really good. I've used both the flat kind where you're not going to really look at your phone, the kind where your phone sits upright so you can still look at it, and even the kind where the phone is tilted on its side, landscape. So if you have an iPhone Pro 12 or later, you can run it in what they call standby mode, where you can have what looks like a little clock on there or with other information. So these are really great features and sure much better than fooling around with cables.
Yeah, we've all got enough cables in our lives. We don't need more. So this makes charging your phone just something simple instead of having to be frustrated by wires and have a difficult time of it. I know that newer model iPhones, I think again 12 and up, have MagSafe, which I especially like because it uses magnets to line up your phone with the charger. Because with some other wireless chargers, you've got to get the positioning just right, and it could be hard to tell. But with MagSafe on iPhone 12s and newer, it just kind of snaps on and ensures everything is all lined up and it works good.
It's also handy for households where people have iPhones and Android phones. It doesn't matter. You can place any newer phone on a wireless charger to charge it. And that's extremely helpful. I know here at my house, we have different wires and adapters all over the place, and it can be real confusing for people.
So one other thing about MagSafe is I also have a MagSafe battery that I can slap on the back of my phone. If my phone's running low and I'm not where I can put it on the standard charger, I can just slap this battery on the back of it.
There's a lot of great magnetic innovations. I think, Frank, you've got one for iPads as well. Is that right? Where you can have a
I
magnetic
did,
port?
yeah. I wrote this up several years ago, and there doesn't seem to have been any others that have come out, a way to add an adapter onto the back of your iPad, up including my sister tried an iPad 12 Pro, which is pretty power hungry, I think. And that worked. And I do have an article on that showing how that works, a video too. So, yeah, but I'm just amazed that Apple hasn't come out with something yet to make the iPad charging wireless.
Well, we'll be sure to add a link to that video in the description
Okay, great, great.
because, yeah, I think that's a hidden gem that more people should know about.
The next device on our list is something a little bit different, but it is a wireless doorbell, which comes with a set of lights that are paired to it wirelessly. And the idea behind it is for people who are hard of hearing, instead of that was really spooky, Ian. Somebody just rang Ian's doorbell. If you didn't hear that. Okay, so the idea behind the wireless doorbell and the lights that it pairs with is that when the doorbell is pressed, in addition to making sound, it also flashes quite brightly, which is really useful for people who are hard of hearing. So I thought this was a really neat, just simple solution. Again, with most of the stuff we've been talking about, you can do it with your smart home, but it's there's some setup involved. But I like the solution. We'll link the product down below in the description. I really like it because it's just a self-contained kit. It's a doorbell and some lights. You stick the lights up inside, you stick the doorbell outside, and it just works. It provides a great solution for anybody who's hard of hearing.
Yeah, I really like this. I know I've come up with creative smart home automations over the years where somebody can knock on the door and a vibration sensor will activate lights and notifications on voice assistants. And I know, Frank, you've come up with some other very creative solutions. But this is just a simple, out of the box, no messing around,
Mhm.
attach a button to the outside of the house and then plug in a chime with a light to the inside and you're good to go.
All right, the last item on our list is an automatic jar opener. I think unless you're a bodybuilder watching, I think we've all struggled with opening some particularly tough jars in our times, and especially so if you've got any kind of dexterity or strength limitations, it can be a really tough time to open jars, or even if you perhaps only have one hand available to you, which can certainly be the case. We're going to be linking in below an automatic jar opener. And this is something that I've got in my household. I find it incredibly useful. I'm shocked at how well it works. My mom loves it as well. It's a really good, just like one button, you just stick it on the lid and you hold the button and it just works. I know, Frank, that we were chatting earlier and you said that uh, there are groups of people and they're all kind of comparing the best jar opener. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So on Tech Enhanced Life, which I contribute to that site too, where they have these groups that meet and they talk about the best openers. And there's things from like kind of a cloth you put over there to some kind of handle you crank around and all this. But I didn't see them mention that one that you're talking about. It sounds good.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really good. It's available on Amazon. I've seen them at Walmart. It seems like a pretty um, available product, and a pretty low cost as well. I think $40 to $50, and it works on all kinds of jars, various sizes. I actually did a kind of a test run of just figuring out what it could and couldn't do around my house, and I even found that it was able to open like fresh, unopened containers with ease, which was very surprising to me. So it's got quite a bit of strength to it, and I literally used it an hour ago, and I use it all the time. It's very useful. The only downside is you got to change the batteries every so often, but that's the case with a lot of stuff, so that's fine. But otherwise, definitely recommend it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Frank, for joining us in both of
Yeah,
these
it's been
episodes.
great.
I look forward to sharing all of the links with our viewers. And for everybody watching, I highly recommend going to Frank's blog, Frank's Easy Tech Corner. I've found so much helpful information on there, and I know you will as well. So have a look.
All right, we'll be linking that below. So thank you for joining us, Frank, and we'll see you next time.